Hello, this is Matti, and I wanted to make you a little video where I show you a little bit about this guitar here, which is a 1997 Fender Mexican-made Nashville Telecaster. And I bought this in the 90s, and the background is I was living as a teen near the eastern border of Finland in Suomussalmi. There aren't any guitar stores there, and if you wanted to buy a guitar, you had to go either to Kajaani or Oulu or some other bigger city. And my brother had bought me some magazines and guitar catalogs. One of them was a Jackson catalog. Another one was a Fender catalog. And I was kind of lusting after the Jacksons, the King V's, Randy Rhoads models, maybe even Kelly. But I do remember the V's, but in particular being my favorites. They looked so cool. And I was eating up all of the specs like Seymour Duncan pickups. Ooh, I didn't know what that meant. Not really. But I saw that some of my heroes were playing those, Marty Friedman, Dave Mustaine, people like that. And I knew Andreas Kisser from Sepultura was playing a Randy Rhoads model, so now that I think about it, I actually didn't know who Randy Rhoads was back then, so that's funny. Anyhow, so I got my cash and I got the chance to travel to Oulu. I didn't have a car, so the situation is that I had to wait for an opportunity to go to Oulu and visit a guitar store. So I went to Musiikkikullas and I asked, do they have any Jackson guitars? They did. I think it was a King V, not completely sure. But the V style anyhow. And what ended up happening is that you might know that it's not very easy to play such a guitar sitting down. It doesn't sit on your lap very well. You're supposed to hold it like this. I didn't realize that, and I kind of immediately fell out of in love with the idea of owning a V-style guitar. In the meantime, I had been looking at the Fender catalog, and what had caught my eye was these strange-looking guitars, Telecasters. At first, I kind of thought that they look rather ugly, but I did notice a lot of the old, really cool blues guitar players like Albert Collins, Muddy Waters were playing them, so it ignited a little spark inside me already. And as it happens, Kullas did sell some Telecasters, and this is one of those that I could afford at that moment. I think they must have had something like 52 style reissue, and totally out of my budget. And maybe some Tokai copies. This one was what caught my eye. Rather splendid. Sunburst. Looks like a two-piece body. And the color of the neck is kind of cool. A few years after that, the maple they used to use was a lot lighter color. Perhaps the lacquer or something has been a little bit different, but this color is cool. It fit my hand really well. This neck is really comfortable. One of the best necks, in my opinion, that I've tried. And yeah, it's kind of funny that as I was listening to a lot of heavy metal, thrash metal, stuff like that, this was the guitar that I ended up with. this has been quite a lot of talking. Perhaps I could show you a little some of those tones that I found interesting. I used to play in a band, and we played our own songs, stuff like. So you can get kind of a really aggressive tone out of it. And if I downtune it, or it's definitely not in tune. Let me fix that. Yeah, maybe the bridge pickup with the high amount of treble might be too much, so I might roll some tone off. Let me try something. So, like that, it won't bite your head off right away. Yeah, I used to listen a lot of that stuff, but I also liked some of those older classic heavy metal bands like Black Sabbath, which is one of my all-time favorites now even. And you can get okay sounds like that. Let's try some Sabbath. Revolution in their minds, the children start to mourn. Yeah. You can kind of do that stuff, at least if you're a teenager playing in your bedroom, as it may. You can have a lot of fun with this guitar. Perhaps it's not the best for the stuff that I used to play with it, but it didn't hinder my excitement about the music in any way. To the contrary. Yeah, I didn't even mention about the middle pickup. That's where the Nashville Deluxe Nashville part comes in. You have this Strat pickup here, which you can use to emulate some of those in-between Stratty sounds. Stuff like... So I kicked in a compressor there. It might help you a little bit with harder licks like... Let's see if I can pull this off. that's so hard. I used to listen to stuff like Lynyrd Skynyrd, like I showed you, some Stevie Ray Vaughan. It didn't bother me that he played a Strat and I had the Telecaster. It looks a little bit similar to like his number one. And it does an okay tone for that, like with the crunchy tone. Or maybe let's add a tube screamer. Yeah, you can kind of get a little bit into some of that blues stuff. Great for playing CCR. You can get rather good Rage Against the Machine type sounds with it. Just put it on the neck pickup and add some distortion. That might be a little too much even. I think this is closer. I don't know. It's good for accompaniment. They found her in a small grove of trees. Lonesome was the place where Georgia was found. She's too young to be out on the street. Well, wasn't God watching? Why wasn't God listening? Why wasn't God there for Georgia Lee? Yeah. All in all, it's pretty versatile, at least for playing at home. Little bit noisy, and some of the design flaws, like not having the bridge and neck pickup combination. I'd much rather have that than the single Stratocaster middle pickup. And I guess the jack isn't well mounted. The jack mount design is kind of bad. When I was preparing to make this video, I had the problem that it had been kind of loosened. It was a little bit loose, and as I was plugging in and plugging out, the ground wire got loose and I had to solder it back in. But that's the classic design. They did make some changes to the original design, like you have six saddle pieces. And there's a little bit of a flaw there also. I don't think you can see, but these screws are like rounded. They have a high round top. And what ends up happening that if I put any heavier gauge strings here, I have to move the saddle back, and what ends up happening, the top of the screw pushes the whole back of saddle pieces, so that the high E string goes over the fretboard, or out of the fretboard. How do you even say it? Well, it goes like you can't fret it anymore. Yeah, those are the minor grievances. I've been really satisfied with this guitar. I've had it for 25 years now. No major problems. I think I've soldered the jack back in like 2 times in the whole 25 years. And I had a lot of fun with it. Did even some gigs with it. I play it really a lot even today, now that I have more guitars. That may be that I make some more videos about the other gear that I have, but I wanted to start things off by showing the old trusty Tele. Yeah. Happy after 25 years. I hope there'll be another 25 years. Oh, one final thing. I do have to mention that these vintage style tuners, these are the very best for restringing. It's really easy to put the string end inside the tuning peg and, or the, what do you call it? The post, the tuner post, and then wrap around, and it's much easier than with the hole in the tuning post. Yeah, that's all. If you've managed to look so far or watch so far, thanks, and maybe we'll see you another time. Thanks for watching.